Demonetization. Demonetization. Channels all across YouTube are being demonetized, all because we can't as a society take jokes anymore. Seriously though, like, everybody is getting like demonetized, especially political YouTube. Political YouTube right now is, I mean, that should be enough for you, you know? Hello everybody, my name is Alex and welcome back to the Irate Alex channel. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about Alex. ImAllexx. No, not me. You know, the one with the long hair and the ridiculous tongue, and the one who is right now defending Carlos Maza on YouTube. Which I don't really get, man, because like he came out and defended PewDiePie and the rest of them. Like, what? But today, guys, we're going to be asking the question, when is a joke no longer a joke? You see, obviously, I've got to look at this from as many perspectives as possible, being a British person, but having mostly an American audience on both of my channel, mostly followed by Americans who have the Constitution. And of course, as a Brit, somebody who lives in a country where if somebody chooses to take offense, because guys, we have to remember that argument. We must stick that in our minds right now. Offense is taken, it's not given. But if you choose to be offended in this here country, then you can go to the police and you can report that person for a hate incident. Now, I know I shouldn't be getting political on this channel, but god damn, it's everywhere right now. It's everywhere. The demonetization, the third apocalypse, as it were, is spreading across the platform. Channels have not just been completely demonetized. Like, channels haven't just had all of their monetization stripped away from them. They've also received strikes. Some channels have just been gone. They were gone. Just completely blown off the platform altogether. Now, we all know why this started. We all know where this came from. We know who's involved. But I'm very disappointed to see commentary YouTubers. I'm not talking about the political commentary or social commentary. I'm talking about the reaction commentary genre. I've seen two of them so far. Two commentary YouTubers who have come out defending Maza and saying that it's not okay to make these jokes when they themselves have made X amount of response videos to quite, much smaller channels, and I imagine they probably affected those people as well in the process, probably resulting in them being dogpiled because, your 1 million subscriber commentary channel made a video about them. I mean, I'm not holding you responsible for that, but if you're gonna sit there and defend a scumbag who's causing absolute mayhem and say that you're not allowed to say these things, even though you yourselves have made jokes, but it's okay when you do it, though. It's okay when you do it, but not okay when someone you don't like because of their political leaning says it, and you've decided in your head that you don't like them, and so therefore anything they say isn't a joke anymore. Now, as you can see here, ImAllexx on Twitter, straight up defending Maza. Makes a reply to this guy up here. He's definitely doing that though. Then goes on, mate, he literally calls him a little queer. Yeah, so you don't get to decide whether Crowder was joking or not, Alex. You just don't. Just because you perceive it to be that way doesn't mean, several 100,000 people didn't find it funny. At what point do we decide it's a joke or not? Oh, wait a minute, that's because you watched the little compilation that Maza created, didn't you? And, you just looked at that and thought, oh, this is Crowder doing that all in one video, because you're too dense to realize that, that's a compilation made over several videos. But, it's only okay when you and your mates do things like that. When you make jokes in your videos, it's only okay when you lot do it, though, isn't it? It's calling someone a lesbian queer. That's not okay. But telling the entirety of Scotland that they're low IQ. That sounds like a race realism argument right there, mate. You had a lady here who obviously taken offense to James Marriott's video. And, he's saying, I don't actually believe the people from Scotland have an IQ lower than the average person. I just make jokes. Well, those are jokes then, are they? Alex there saying, this reminds me of when people clap and laugh at the jokes of others, but when it's their thing, it's no longer acceptable. Oh, that doesn't make you look very good, does it, Alex? I think it's very silly to put comedy in box. There should be no limits. Oh, really, Alex? Really? That there should be no limits? Huh. Could have sworn you, basically pointing Crowder out to be a homophobe a moment ago. Oh. Of course, then he responded to Keemstar with this video.
Look, Daniel, I'm going to put this in layman's terms for you because you're quite clearly struggling to understand. James Marriott tells jokes. Stephen Crowder used slurs to try.
Oh, so James is your mate, and those are jokes, even though it sounds a lot like race realism, kinda. That's not a joke, but speaking about one individual and calling him a lesbian queer, whilst clearly laughing about it, and obviously making lots and lots of jokes like that about everybody all the time. Well, that's just straight up offensive, isn't it?
Try and insult somebody and belittle them. There's a huge difference between the two. Calling somebody a fag and a little queer is not the same.
He didn't call him a fag, just FYI. Your information's wrong there. Keemstar's right, Alex. You were just terrible at this.
Same as making a joke. You could say that it was meant to be a joke, like, he was just calling him a fag because it was a joke. A little queer, it was a joke, and mocking him for the way that he is as a person. Even so, I personally watched those clips, and this is where we may disagree. And if you disagree with me, that's fine, man. I'll allow that one. That's cool by me. If you think he's joking, then we disagree, which we normally do anyway. I fundamentally disagree with the majority of the stuff that you do. But I don't believe Stephen Crowder was joking. I think when you watch those clips, it's obvious that he's not joking.
It's obvious that he's not joking. Well, if you want to sit there and choose to take offense, and Mazza wants to sit there and choose to take offense, and that's on you guys, really. Meanwhile, the rest of us are all laughing and being mass demonetized as well.
Like always with you. I mean, this happens every time with you. You have your facts wrong, and you publicly speak on shit without knowing what you're talking about. You are the king of putting out misinformation, okay? You said Stephen Crowder calling him fag. Stephen Crowder never called him fag, ever. Never called him fag, ever. If you can prove...
Which is true. He never did. He never once did. Think about this for a second, Alex, right? You have been called out by quite a few YouTubers by the time this video comes out. You've been called a hypocrite. For some reason, it's okay to make certain jokes when your mates do it, when you do it, and, to obviously bully people. I mean, I'm sure you've been accused of bullying people online, harassing people online, making response videos and whatnot. But, when people you obviously disagree with, when they do it, it doesn't seem to be okay with you. It doesn't seem to be okay. And let's try to look at this objectively for a second as well, right? Carlos Mazza has not stopped losing his mind about this for days. No matter what YouTube tried to do in the beginning, trying to demonetize him, offered to obviously give him back his monetization if he removed the link to the t-shirt, which seemingly was the problem for at least an hour or two with Carlos. I mean, the guy is an absolute lunatic, and let's be honest. The guy just kept going on and on and on and on and on, and it's not good enough. And because of this, obviously, I can't put all the blame on just Carlos, right? Got to put more of the blame on Vox and obviously YouTube themselves. Just channel after channel after channel has been demonetized, and you defending him, you defending this kind of action taken by YouTube, pointing out, that these jokes, they're awful, it's bullying, it's harassment, it's homophobic. You doing that is reinforcing their kind of rhetoric, so that when YouTube completely strips a channel of its monetization, and it will come to the rest of you at some point, I guarantee it, because I guarantee I can go back into your videos, I can go into your catalogue of content, and I bet I can find some shady words in there, some stuff that could be perceived as highly offensive. But again, when does a joke not become a joke anymore. You know, it's very obvious from Alex's point of view and from No Fuckers and the rest of them that they've decided the intent behind something, even though they don't obviously watch Crowder, probably have never watched him before, don't really get into political YouTube, don't really know about you know, his kind of thing, don't know his typical MO. You know, I recommend you actually go and watch him. Really, just go and watch him, and then you might actually understand. And coming out and defending him, so entire channels should lose their monetization completely because they made a few jokes at somebody's expense. And you do know that this Carlos guy has called for violence before. Like, there's plenty of screenshots you can find of some disgusting things that he said on Twitter, calling for violence, which is way worse than being called a lesbian freaking queer, in my opinion. It's so freaking disappointing to see commentary channels act in this manner. It really, really is. Like, I'm not expecting them to be like completely politically aligned with me, but to defend like an authoritarian ballbag like Carlos, who has not stopped losing his mind since and has been full on driving himself, you know, his platform and, you know, the company he works for to attack YouTube constantly. No. You lot didn't like it when the Wall Street Journal came after PewDiePie and the rest of YouTube back in 2016, and subsequent attacks from the mainstream media. I mean, the entire commentary community defended PewDiePie when he dropped the N-bomb. That was a joke for them, even though it's probably one of the most controversial words you can probably say. The word that's most likely to get you a slap out in the street if you say it. Again, it's not the same situation, but it has similar consequences to it, though, doesn't it? But, you know, whatever. Let me know what you guys thought. I'm sure this video will be dislike bombed. I'm sure people will completely miss the point of many of my arguments, and they'll just make fun of my physical appearance and the fact that I've got anime posters in the background, you know. I mean, I did argue with some of Alex's subscribers, and they're not exactly the brightest bunch, but then again, they are subscribed to Alex, so... But anyway, guys, let me know what you thought down below. If you like the video, drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.